Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, filmed in 1994 and the fourth film of the franchise. By now y'all are starting to get a sense of how weird this fucking series is, right? Well, hold on to your butts, because The Next Generation is the next level of absurdity. We trade out Part 3's Viggo Mortensen for a much more unhinged Matthew McConaughey, then throw in Renee Zellweger as the final girl to give ourselves an Oscar-winning meat pie that tastes like absolute shit. I might have gotten a little bit lost with that metaphor, but I guarantee it was less confusing than this miserable mess. Half of it is the same shit we've seen 3 times already, only with way more sadism and way less fun. And the other half's got a crazy conspiracy angle to it that somehow still manages to be dull and unexciting. It's insane that this entry was written and directed by Kim Henkel, the guy who co-wrote the original screenplay alongside Tobe Hooper. What the hell happened here? And why is the Sawyer family randomly renamed the Slaughter family? Seriously, what gives? Fuck! We won't find any answers to those questions in this movie, but we will find a few kills, so let's go ahead and get to them. The movie begins with a title, paragraph, I guess? It's not crawling like the other movies. What, could they not afford a crawl? This one pokes fun at its direct predecessors, calling them 2 minor yet apparently related incidents, before it takes us to the present year of 1994, aka the year of the title card. Wait, that's not this movie's name, what the fuck? Yeah, turns out I accidentally used the director's cut to make this video, which also happens to be in standard definition, so that's why the movie footage doesn't look so great. Although the theatrical cut, which does have an HD transfer, uses the current movie title, the director's cut has the original title that was used when it first came out in 1995, The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This movie was so bad that it got shelved until Jerry Maguire came out in 1996 and made Renee Zellweger a star. After that happened, they recut and re-released this film as The Next Generation, even though Matthew McConaughey's agents tried to block it from coming out at that point, calling the movie an exploitative use of his name. That bodes real well for the film we're about to watch. Speaking of Renee Zellweger, her character Jenny is a smart but timid girl ready to go to prom with her boyfriend Sean. Oh, come on! These are prom pictures being taken with a freaking Olympus. Quit cheapening that sound effect. At prom, Jenny's friend Heather finds her boyfriend Barry getting fresh with another gal. Barry! Oh, shit! So she ends up leaving the school in a huff. Barry hops into the car before she's able to take off completely, and then, sure, let's have Jenny and Sean in the back seat. What the fuck ever, right? One of the problems with this movie is that these characters friggin' blow. Jenny's alright, I guess, but Sean's an absolute nothing character, and Barry and Heather are both totally obnoxious. She's one big dumb whiny stereotype, and he's the kind of douchebag who will say absolutely anything to get his dick wet, like the old, if you don't give me sex, then I'll get cancer from blue balls.
It's not my fault they're stupid enough to believe it.
Oh man, I hate this guy. Even if he did deliver one idiotic line that ended up making me laugh.
What's the matter? Afraid somebody might find out you have tits?
Barry.
Girls have tits.
A totally not suspicious detour sends them onto a dirt road where they randomly get into an accident. The dude in the other car gets out and proclaims a clean bill of health.
I'm not hurt.
But then he passes out, making him a big fat liar. With both cars out of order, Sean agrees to stay back with the would-be manslaughter victim, while Jenny, Heather, and Barry set off to find some help, even if that means they have to travel through the spooky woods.
What was that?
Great, now we can't see Jack.
What do you mean you can't see Jack? It's so bright out, it looks like there's a midnight sun in the sky. Eventually, they come across an office trailer, and inside is the spitting image of a 90s power woman. While this lady Darla calls for help, she catches Jenny eyeballing her tatas and tells the teenage girl that they were a good investment. In fact, she's so proud of them that she flashes random high school boys who are driving by. Lady, that's a sex offense. Back at the car accident, a tow truck arrives driven by Matthew McConaughey's character Vilmer, who for some reason is sporting an air pump powered leg brace. Dog, we just had Leatherface walking around with a leg brace in the last movie. What are we doing here? Immediately, we learn that Vilmer's a real nasty son of a bitch. In fact, he kicks off the kill count straight away by breaking the neck of that passed out driver. And if you're wondering why I called him I'm Not Hurt here, that's literally what the character is named in the end credits. Director complains to Kim Henkel. Sean, rightfully terrified, backs away as Vilmer tells him that he's gonna be the next inductee of the Dallas Dyers Club.
It ain't no fucking biggie.
Vilmer chases Sean down the road in his truck until he knocks him down and revs himself up for another kill.
All right, racing fans, here
Sean becomes the second victim on our list as Vilmer runs him over and over again with his tow truck, crushing the kid under his tires until he's nothing more than a flat circle. The kids leave Darla's office to head back to the accident. Nothing left for them here since Darla's already called the tow truck and given them all the wisdom she has to offer.
Could you just tell him how the cows eat the cabbage and you won't have any trouble?
What? Cows eating what? After walking for a while, the kids are nearly hit by a truck driving past them. And although Heather and Barry choose to follow it, hoping for additional help, Jenny sticks to the original plan of heading back to the accident, even if it does mean fending off wild trash bags that are trying to keep her away. Now on their own, Heather and Barry continue being the most annoying characters you could ever ask to make a skin mask out of.
I told you I'm a bitch.
That doesn't make it okay. They get to a big old house and knock on the door, but when they don't get an answer, Barry goes around back while Heather takes a seat on the porch swing. Apparently, this girl has lost all sense of touch, smell, and spatial detection because she doesn't notice the giant man-child who comes up behind her and starts fucking with her hair. Barry gets held up at gunpoint by Walter Edward Slaughter, aka W.E. Slaughter, which was the name of Drayton's barbecue joint in the original movie 20 years prior. I guess Kim Henkel decided to take that jokey name for a food stand and use it for a character's name here, renaming the Sawyer family the Slaughters in the process. I feel like that says a lot about this movie. W.E. is a man of culture who quotes men of history like Ulysses S. Grant as he holds Barry captive. He doesn't even let Barry go to help his girlfriend when they hear Heather screaming after she finally notices Leatherface. Oh, actually, hey, I'm sorry. In this movie, they just call him Leather. So he went from Leatherface to Bubba to Junior to just plain Leather. Wow, this series don't give a damn about itself. Leather carries Heather into the house and to a back room where there's a dirty freezer on the floor. He traps her inside of it by putting a big metal thing on top, but her incessant screaming still drives him and his Kenny Powers mullet insane. Outside, after W.E. leads Barry to the front door, Barry makes a hashtag big move and locks the dude out of his own house.
Dumbass!
Yeah, he's the dumbass, Barry. Even though you're the one acting like you're safe at home in this decrepit stranger danger house and yelling to your girlfriend who ain't there like you just got home from the bowling alley or some shit.
There's some crazy guy outside with a shotgun. Locked him out, though. You should have seen me.
He finally notices that things aren't exactly normal here and then runs into Leather, who kills him with a hammer. It's a pretty quick attack, and Barry's eyes do seem open while he's getting kicked all over the floor there, but we never see him again, so I'm pretty sure he did. With another fresh body to freeze, Leather takes Heather out of the icebox and hangs her up on a meat hook, because that's just what you do when you're Leather Blank in a Texas Chainsaw film. Jenny is approached by Vilmer in his tow truck, and although she's reluctant to trust him at first, she eventually drops her guard and accepts his offer for a ride. Jenny, this was not the guy to turn to. He's already yelling at you and knocking the glasses off of your face. Hey Vilmer, shouldn't you have left those on her face if you really wanted to show off your work like this? All she sees now are a couple of hanging human-shaped blurs. Jenny's not in the mood to deal with psychopaths tonight, so she tucks and rolls out of the moving truck, then runs as fast as she can while Vilmer chases her in a scene that reminds me of that one from Halloween 5, when Michael chased Jamie and her foster sister's friend into the woods. Yeah, woods that look just like these. Weird. Vilmer says, all right, you win, and leaves in his truck, but then Leather runs up to Jenny, his chainsaw all a-growling, and we get an all too familiar chainsaw chase through the woods that ends with Jenny reaching the slaughterhouse. She locks Leather out and runs upstairs while he saws down the door, which, yes, is exactly what Sally did in the first movie, because these sequels are fucking shameless, and not in the fun Emmy Rossum way. And in case you wanted more classic moments recreated, here, let's have Jenny jump out of an upstairs window to escape Leather's pursuit. In a minor variation on this moment, Jenny climbs around on the roof and senselessly up a TV antenna, undoubtedly interfering with Mr. Futterman's reception.
Goddamn foreign TV.
She's finally able to escape Leather by jumping onto the world's strongest power line, but as she tries to Ninja Warrior away, Leather saves his family some money and becomes a cable cutter, causing Jenny to crash to the ground and begin a second lap of their chainsaw chase. Jenny runs all the way back to Darla's trailer and tells her what's going on.
He's out there with a chainsaw.
No, he had a chainsaw. He was chasing me with a chainsaw.
But we've all seen the first 3 movies by now, and since they all do the same damn thing, it's no surprise when we find out that Darla was just holding Jenny there long enough for W.E. to come in and start zapping her with a cattle prod. I know this whole series has people getting mocked and tormented by Sawyers and Slaughters, but this one feels especially mean-spirited for some reason. W.E. beats her, bags her, and throws her in Darla's trunk, but apparently he didn't bother closing it all the way, because later, when Darla's in a drive-thru pizza place, gross, an employee tells her that her trunk is open.
That's just somebody I got tied up back there.
This massive oversight nearly gets Darla caught by the cops in line behind her, which include Deborah Marshall, aka Deborah, aka the one-time wife of Stone Cold Steve Austin and a valet in the WWF. Apparently, she tried acting for a little while, before having the misfortune of being a woman on the roster during the Attitude Era. Darla just blows off the cops and heads back home, where she finds Heather in the road along the way, injured and trying to escape. But unfortunately, Darla's not about to be very helpful.
Don't hit me. Stop.
Sorry, Heather. She gets home with the pizza and meat takeout, and Leather is such a good boy that he helps her bring in the groceries. Now, this family's name may be Slaughter, but they're Sawyers at heart, complete with all the usual screaming matches and sadism, which Matthew McConaughey provides in abundance. It's in their nasty kitchen that we get our first taste of this movie's Illuminati subplot.
You don't think the FBI has its place under 24-hour surveillance? You don't think there's transmitters in all these walls?
Yeah, I wasn't joking. Vilmer's actually claiming here that the Slaughters are part of a government program. As Darla helps Jenny get ready for this movie's requisite dinner scene, she tells her more about this wackadoo development.
I mean, who do you think killed Kennedy?
Government?
No, that government stuff is bullcrap. It's these people.
To her credit, Jenny reacts to this bullshit with way more poise than I ever would.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Then Vilmer walks in and ruins their girl talk so he can abuse Jenny and be over-the-top obnoxious some more.
Give you count to 10, give me a reason why I shouldn't. 9, 8.
What?
Don't be late.
McConaughey is just way too much during this movie, man. I mean, he can't even drink a beer without some psychosis. Plus, he won't stop hitting his wife or cutting himself. God damn, is he miserable to watch. The only thing positive I can say about him is that he does a pretty good Tusken Raider impression. But see, he even takes that too far too. While he's doing, whatever, Jenny runs outside and even starts to drive away. But Vilmer's there to stop her with his funniest noise yet. Chelsea and I rewound that part so many times when we watched this. It's hands down the best part of this movie. His crazy ass on the windshield gets her to crash the car, then he takes her back inside so we can finally have that dinner scene. Oh, and look, Leather's getting fancy for it, dressing himself up like a purty woman. Get it, Leather? Now, I'm about to show you a clip, and I want you to remember that they did make this movie after Dazed and Confused.
All right.
Yep, they really did that. I'm starting to understand that exploitative argument McConaughey's agents tried to make. Vilmer wakes Jenny up and shows her the horrifying scene she's now a part of, which includes 3 upright corpses. I'm kind of at a loss on what to do here. I haven't been counting bones or bodies in this series because they're usually messy, but these 3 cadavers are looking pretty fresh. Then again, we've never met these people before. I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna leave them off the kill count, but the dilemma is enough to make me want to scream. Yeah, Leather, just like that. Also at the dinner table is a brand new grandpa, but don't be expecting any amazing special effects here. Makeup artist J.M. Logan did his best, but he was only 18 years old and working on his first ever feature film. The producers probably should have hired someone more experienced. Then maybe this grandpa wouldn't have wound up looking like a taxidermied Miracle Max. Don't worry about Logan though. He'd go on to do effects for cult classics such as The Dentist and The DCOM Halloween Town? Yo, did that motherfucker make Calabar? Jenny is just totally over all of this and tells Vilmer that his whole Illuminati story is bullshit. That gets him so mad he hits W.E. with a hammer, and since we never see him again after this moment, I'ma count that as a kill. Who knows though, maybe he's only mostly dead. W.E.'s death kinda spoils the mood at the dinner table, so Grandpa pieces out of there, never to be seen again, and Jenny gets up so she can do the same.
I'm gonna leave, and no one is gonna stop me.
You sit the fuck down!
But Vilmer stops her from leaving when he pours gasoline all over Heather, who, oh yeah, she's in this scene. He lights her on fire and says that they don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn, motherfucker. Darla extinguishes Heather, who then falls to the floor, and you'd better get your head out of that McConaughey crotch there, Jenny, because it looks like the Sawyers have got company, and oh shit, it's the fucking Illuminati, isn't it? The Illuminati dude, credited as Mr. Rothman, tells Vilmer that he's presently doing a piss-poor job. And what is his job exactly?
I want these people to know the meaning of horror.
Oh, well shit, dude, just have him watch my channel. Then you wouldn't have to go through all this nasty shit with Bridget Jones. Oh, but he be into the nasty shit apparently, judging by his graham cracker belly engravings and the way he licks Jenny's face like a fucking weirdo. Mr. Rothman leaves and Vilmer walks over to finally finish off Heather. He puts his mechanical leg on her head and kills her by crushing it underfoot. The kill itself happens off screen, and it certainly takes him a while, but eventually he gets there, if you couldn't tell by that climax face he has. Jenny once again decides to leave while all this random chaos is going down, and this time she makes a run for it on foot, setting us up for yet another chainsaw chase scene when Leather runs out to pursue her. You can do it, Leather. You've got your own cheer section going.
Get that bitch! No!
As the morning sun rises, Jenny makes it out of the woods and heads towards the road, where a couple of members of the True Knot are enjoying an RV trip through the countryside. They help Jenny inside to escape from Leather with some of the worst line dubbing I've ever heard.
There's a monster chasing her with a chainsaw. Step off, Mr. Spotty.
They start to drive away, but Leather catches up to them on Vilmer's truck and chainsaws them right off the road. It's kind of funny that whoever investigates this crash is probably gonna blame it on that Bloody Mary this guy was drinking at the wheel. Jenny once again makes a run for it, the fate of those retirees unknown, and is chased by Vilmer and Leather until a fucking plane out of fucking nowhere swoops down and fucks up Vilmer. What the fuck? That random ass plane just killed the primary antagonist of this movie. What the hell are we even doing here? I know, Leather, it fucking sucks. And I know what you're thinking right now. Maybe the plane was flown by those Illuminati dudes, right? Nope, because they're in this car that comes out of nowhere to quote-unquote rescue Jenny, leaving Leather behind to do the same old song and chainsaw dance. Mr. Rothman tells Jenny that this whole thing was supposed to be some kind of spiritual experience or some shit, but that it didn't work out exactly as planned. Minor whoopsie, right? Jenny winds up at a hospital where, oh come on, really? She sees Sally goddamn Hardesty rolled by on a gurney? Why would Marilyn Burns agree to cameo in this piece of garbage? Same with Paul A. Partain, who played Franklin in the original and who's pushing that gurney there now. I don't fucking get it, man. The movie ends with two more things it shamelessly steals from the original. Leather still chainsaw dancing around, and that goddamn flashbulb sound effect. How many people died in this movie, whether by chainsaw or from McConaughey annoying them to death? Let's find out at the numbers. Boo! 6 people died in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. The victims consisted of 1 woman and 5 men and did not include Grandpa, because that fucker got away. With a runtime of 93 minutes, we had a kill on average every 15.5 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to, actually, you know what? All these kills fucking suck, which means I'll give the dull machete to all of them. This is the worst kind of movie. It's got torture and some blood, but no fun in any of its kills. It's just misery and death. And that's it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation came out originally in 1995, then was re-released in 1997, and both times it was a big old pile of donkey shit. The next film would reboot the series entirely, which in this case I fully approve of. This franchise obviously needed it. Until next week though, I'm James A. Janice, and this has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching The Kill Count for Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. I want to thank some patrons like Dante010192, Jamie Avona, and Giovanni Tapia. We are now halfway through the Texas Chainsaw franchise. I kind of look at the series as being 2 halves, and we just finished the first one. The next 4 movies are all about remakes and prequels. Thanks everyone. Be good people.